Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now this week it looks like we're going to have another relatively slow week in terms of new content being released per se, as we're not really having any new events or any a whole bunch of brand new bots incoming as well. This will be a very good opportunity to recoup on lost resources or rubies that a lot of players were hemorrhaging for, especially given the new Medarotters mechanic as well, in order to start collecting those that have extra abilities and use more than just the regular ones. But despite this, we still do see one new face officially joining the gacha banners, as well as a lot of reruns from popular models from the days of Medarot 9. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced on this week's episode that I've thus named A King's Reign. Starting with the gacha banners as we go forward, and headlining that is KGC0 Evil Rex with a kit of Hide Blow, Slash, Pile, Biped Legs, and the Spearhead leg ability. Behind him we have actually a returnee from Medarot 8, but made a very significant story importance in Medarot 9, and that is the weapon type WEA-03 Death Providence, with a kit of Charge Buster, Press, Power Rifle, Multi-Legs, and the Super Armor leg ability. Behind him, we also have a rerun of everyone's favorite idol type IDL-01 Deer Stage with a kit of Full Charge, Bug, Freeze, Biped Legs, and the Rush ability. Now, just between these three models alone, we already are off to a very, very good start. Death Providence being very good for heavy punish and just your all-around shoot nuking. Deer Stage for your Full Charge and your relatively scattered ailment fighting as well with turn skip and freezing. And then, of course, Evil Rex kind of spearheading the movement, pun intended with the leg ability, with your as the dominant melee fighter of any team that he's assigned to. Now, moving forward, these aren't the only banners we have going live this week either. We're starting the line with the starters of Medarot 9 as well, KBT-12 Juke with the kit of Charge Buster, Power Rifle, Mega Gatling, Biped Legs, and the Bullet Rain leg ability. Behind him, we also have everyone's favorite Kuwagata starter from Medarot 9 and my personal boy, KWG-12 Monjiro, with the kit of Cybercore, Sword, Break Hammer, Biped Legs, and the Rush leg ability. And then in a rather interesting turn of events, this model actually did not star in Medarot 9 at all, and recently only made its 3D appearance in Medarot S a pretty fair bit of time ago. But all the same, still sporting a rather tanky build is BOR0 Dash Button from Medarot 2, with a kit of Perfect Guard, Double Guard, Tank Legs, and the Hoplite leg ability. Now, of the 6 banners that we have going live this week, of course excluding the collaboration models, which will still be sticking around for about a week or so longer for anyone that has not had a chance to collect them yet. But just the 6 that we have here alone are some fantastic skills across the board that anyone could be used with great flexibility and versatility. No one is a meta change capable model, which means it's going to be very easy to collect parts if you say want 1 or 2, or even just want to go after the full set with 10 pulls from the gacha banners. That being said, there really is no major priority list in terms of who to go after if you exclude the collaboration models, as all of them are very good. Personally, I probably would stick Dash Button naturally at the very bottom of that list, though, as someone you really don't want to focus on unless you're really hell-bent on wanting to collect him just for the sake of having him and nothing more. With the fierce battles we have going on this week, it's going to be relatively lower key this time around, but still some pretty solid kits across the board. Starting the lineup is the PCP-0 War Headley with a kit of Optic Guard, Double Napalm, Tank Legs, and the Heavy Arms leg ability. Behind him, SCP-0 Poison Scorpy with a kit of Triple Melt, Multi-Legs, and the Desert type leg ability. And then last but not least, PLC-01 Speed Alert with a kit of Mobile Boost, Shock, Rifle, Wheeled Legs, and the Emergency leg ability. Now, like I said, a lot of rather scattered moves between the 3 of them, a couple of ailments, a couple of pretty decent skills, and some solid legs. But honestly, if I did have to give an MVP of the week to one in particular, I honestly would have to give it to Speed Alert, primarily for the fact that Shock and Rifle are basic skills you can generally never ever go wrong with using. Head and legs you may not use a whole lot, if often at all, especially with wheel legs having very niche compatibility. Behind Speed Alert, I would honestly have to give a close second to Poison Scorpion exclusively for the Desert type ability on his legs, given that Desert and Wasteland are something that not a lot of legs are really good on that aren't Flight, which is very easy to counteract with anti-air. Now, in terms of other news that was going live this week, we do have two more super rare Medarotters joining the general pool, and that is Summer Festival Yukata, Mio, and Main, both Medarotters and main characters from the days of Medarot 9. Medarotter Mio, in this case, is offering a new skill that will buff your cooldown for every consecutive activation by plus 600 for a maximum of a plus 1800 bonus. Now, honestly, going over 1,000 in a skill is already pretty heavy on its own and amazing for you. Not so much if it's your enemy, but if you can cap it up at 1,800 for your cooldown, that's essentially going the case of like Mach 7 or 8 on the battlefield, to the point where it's like near instantaneous cooldown without anyone having a chance to actually counter you. Now, granted, you still have to activate that skill, but you can activate apparently more than once based on what I am told. Medarotter Main, on the other hand, offers a buff to your overall mobility or movement, which, as explained, is heat and cool by about 20%. And you get an additional 15% movement bonus if the Medarotter is equipped on a multi-leg type. Probably hence the reason why Death Providence is sticking around this time as a rerun banner. So very, very good as well for that passive bonus, and honestly, passives like this are definitely a big ticket for what Medarotters offer, especially if you want to stay on top of the speed game, which essentially what half of competitive PvP is these days. Now, in addition to the rerun for Death Providence, he is also getting an extra skin being added to the paid bundles. In this case, he is getting a limited run of a God Emperor style skin complete with antenna. That is being included in a Ruby bundle. Usually these especially one for this goes for, I'd say, about 70 or 80 USD. If you decide to top off on that. I'm not sure if I am going to go after this one or not, but if you are looking to top off on rubies and are able to make any purchases, these are definitely something you want to go for. And I was surprised to see this as well, but we are also getting a rerun of the Parallel Deuce limited time skin that was seen late last year, actually. I was actually wondering for a long time if this skin in particular would ever come back, and it seems so that it is. So if you are a fan of weapon type models such as Parallel Deuce, God Emperor, Beastmaster, and you are able to make purchases and have some cash to burn, you definitely would want to try to consider picking up both of these limited skins, as well as maybe hold on to the rubies that they are offering you in addition to them. Now, aside from all that, like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of new stuff announced this week, aside from some miscellaneous information on Medarot Day, just kind of spearheading and giving a heads up to what's going to happen on 11/27 later this year as well. But they did hint that it is going to be a live event, and more details are likely to unfold as we get closer to November. But aside from that, on the community front, we are still continually looking for translators for the Medarot 3 and Medarot Reloaded translation projects. So if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any effort that you'd be willing to provide and to help see these projects to completion. We would love to get started on projects such as Medarots 4, 5, and Navi, but we still have a lot of a lot of text that needs cleaned in order to finish out Medarot 3. A lot of the legwork has already been done thanks to Variant and Enwise in the translation teams that we have working on that, but we would love to start working on other projects but need the manpower to do them. So again, if you would like to help with that or even learn how to help out, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or join our communities in the links provided and ask around, and we're more than happy to get you up to speed on everything that needs to be done and everything that still needs to be finished up to this point. Now, with the weekly art highlights, I found both of these actually just earlier today, and honestly, I always have fun looking for weekly art highlights, and it's so difficult to choose just between two of them going forward with each week. But starting up with this piece by Twitter user Goner Kia, I hope I did pronounce that correctly, highlighting this piece of the OG Metal Beetle with a piece from Seven Colors, which is a rather interesting and iconic scene in the early days of that particular series, and it even made a callback in Medarot 2 in part of the anime, as the way that Metabee was able to defeat Smilodon after he mastered the Shadow Sword technique. And do also take a look at this user here, Twitter user MoenCHSai, who is also very well known for a lot of wonderful Medarot art as well, and this piece in particular highlighting everyone's favorite steampunk sweetie, Shushu Pop, in her latest form of Shushu Pop 2. Now, I have highlighted MoenCH as well in the past as someone to follow, but you definitely want to give both these people a follow all the same to add more wonderful Medarot art to your feeds, if that is something that you so wish to add and look for. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers just about everything for this week's episode. So once again, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, and just as you have been every week and listening in. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below, and this will allow you to keep a close ear to the action on anything related to Medarot. This includes any new merchandise, new games, translation updates, or even my weekly episodes. That is the first place you will hear them before anywhere else. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at IsaGamiKura, so if you have any questions, feedback, or comments, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Don't be a stranger, and feel free to stop in and say hello. My DMs are always open for that very reason. In addition, do also give these wonderful friends of mine a follow as well, starting with Twitter user Miko Zeta, another fellow VTuber and new friend of mine I've made relatively recently, as she has been for a while working on a run of the early Medarot games. I believe currently she's working on Medarot 3. Definitely give her a follow in that sense to keep up with the action that she is working on. And then also give Twitter user TypeCKW a follow as well for even more wonderful Medarot art added to add to your Twitter feeds, for a truly wonderful artist that makes wonderful wallpapers both for PC and for mobile, and I even have found myself using a number of them every here and there. But aside from all this, I do appreciate you all for stopping by once again. It's always happy to have you in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.